Hello, Patchy Talk. Rubber Rat here. Today I'm going to show you how to access and remove a payout mech for the Sankyo Lumina frame. I got this particular white frame from Monkey Boy. Thanks, Monkey Boy. And in case you're interested, I did manage to get all of those stains out of this shooter knob using varying grades of sandpaper. I think it came out pretty well. What do you think? Anyway, back to business at hand. A couple of tools you're going to need. I use some old feet from Pachinko machines that don't need them anymore. I also have a key. You don't need it, but it's easier with it. And find your favorite screwdriver. If you don't have a favorite one, then try to start using one regularly. Anyway, if your machine is in a cabinet, you're going to need to swing the door out of the wooden frame. Not a lot of people do this, I don't think. And if you do, you're going to have to support the frame because otherwise the whole thing's going to dump over and it's going to wreak havoc and make people sad. So first things first, just going to power the machine off and take the power cord out, just for easier to work on. Once we've done that, I'm about ready to swing the door out. Now, if you're not in a cabinet, you can work on it without it, and I'll do that later, but let me show you how to swing the frame out. It might go a little silent. Okay, so first take your 2 feet and set them up on their edge like this. Put your key in and turn it clockwise. Then grab your shooter knob and while lifting up and over, slide them right onto the feet so the feet support them. Okay, really important. A lot of weight's going to be generated once you open that frame up, and it'll get ugly if you don't support them on something. It's just too hard to work on. Now you'll see it's separated completely from the frame, and you can even, swing this out a little further so that it's really and truly wide open. Notice there's the wood, and there's the rest of the machine. So for the purposes of my video, I'm going to close it up and work on it while it's still inside the wooden frame. But if you're in a cabinet, I highly recommend swinging this out so that you have better access. Again, you may have to prop it up with something else, but don't try to work on it without it being, supported in this fashion. If you don't have a key, like I said before, you can just mess with these latches here and here, and I'll show you that again. Hold on, let me close it up. Okay, see these 2 latches? This guy and this guy. If you flip those 2 down, the door will just flip right open with a little bit of help. So I'm going to work on it just like this, just so you can see. By the way, here's where the payout mech is. All right. So the first thing you want to make sure that you do is have the ball dump in the right position. Many of these things are keyed, and as you can see here, this one is keyed. It won't work unless it is flipped up. I've already dumped all the balls out. You guys have seen and heard that, so I'm not going to do that again. Once that's done, there's a little pressure latch just under here. I'm going to stick my finger on it. You can see that a little bit better now. Looks like that. I'm going to flip this up to expose the payout mech. Let me get this little light off. Expose the payout mech, some cabling, the chute. I usually just take this upper part off because it just becomes annoying. You can see there's some hinges right here. I'm sorry guys, right here. Just take that right off, and there's your ball path right there, down to the dump, into the payout mech, and of course that drops into the front of the machine through the cell down here. Alright. So, most of the machines have a little feeder mechanism right here, and sometimes that has a little spring-loaded thingy in it. It might be a little hard to see, but it's under here, and it kind of holds onto the payout mech. When you pull on it, it's going to feel like it doesn't give, but I'll show you in a moment how to deal with that. Alright, first thing you want to do is any cabling, ribbon cables that are in, you'll want to remove them. In this case it's just one. Right here is a tab. What I'm going to do is I'm going to press on that tab. By the way, you can see the balls kind of lined up inside the payout mech. This little wheel here is activated when the motor comes on, and that shoots the balls down. And just under here, which you'll see in a moment, is a magnetic counter, or a little sensor that detects when the balls go by, so it knows how many to give you. 3, 10, or however many are set up. So watch carefully. At no time does my hand leave my arms. Just push on that a little bit. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Okay, you're definitely going to be dropping balls and stuff, but presto, one payout mech. Okay, there's the magneto sensor I talked to you about, which counts the balls. You can clearly see the ball path here, and then we have a ball kind of caught up in the motor that'll free when it tries to pay out again. These things get filthy, crummy, slimy, horrible, dirty. And you know, taking them apart for cleaning is not for the faint of heart. There's gears, wires, motors. When you do decide to remove these screws and take this apart, make sure you understand how it goes back together. There's not a lot of clear documentation at this level of machinery to tell you how to get this, recover this. That sticker doesn't say anything except basically how to take it out. It doesn't say how to remove it or disassemble it. There's a lot of little moving parts in here. What I do recommend, though, is that you get a Q-tip or a pipe cleaner and try to get it as clean as possible. If you do remove it, as I said, take pictures, document it, make sure that you don't have a hangover and that you're clear of mind. These 3 screws will, be pretty consistent across the board. Take them apart. There'll be stickers on them like this. I usually just take my thumb and run it up and down the side to split it. These stickers will hold this cabinet, this little case together, and you'll want to separate it, so you're going to just split that open. Who cares about the sticker? And if you're really a stickler for details, take an X-Acto knife and just run it up and down, but you've got to separate it so you can get it open. I have found that it's really difficult to preserve the sticker if you want to get these things open, and actually I don't care too much about the sticker. As a matter of fact, I removed the third of the sticker that was over here, and it's really not bothering me at all. The only other thing I want to mention about these little thingies here is when you put them back together, do not screw them together tightly. If you do, it won't pay out. That's all there is to it. The gears won't move, the motor won't move, it will not pay out. If you put it back in and it doesn't pay out, take it out, give the screws all a quarter of a turn counterclockwise to get it looser. There shouldn't be any play in it. In other words, you shouldn't be able to move it at all, but it shouldn't be so tight that it won't pay out. Okay, I'm not going to disassemble it. You can do that on your own spare time. But what I'm going to do now is I am going to sort of reverse the process and put it all back together. Okay, I'm just going to jam that back in there. And if that was too fast for the audience at home, I'll go ahead and do that again. Okay, so it goes right in. Okay, pressure, slide it over, now it's locked. Alright, I'm going to put my cable back in. I'm going to